Hey there, travelers. Welcome back. Today, we're diving into the historic charm and vibrant culture of Williamsburg, Virginia. From colonial history to modern fun, we've got a lot to cover. So let's jump right in.
What you might want to go to.
Okay,
So then I came and then water service.
Okay.
People really friendly.
Okay.
Just came back here.
Really? It's been that long, Jason?
Yeah,
Wow. What school did you go to again?
oh, Williamsburg.
Oh, you did do William and Mary. Okay.
Yeah, because they got historical marker about 5 years ago.
Okay.
And so that's where they were able to, where the state just verified everything about the church's history and they solidified everything.
Okay. Okay.
So Williamsburg is one of the oldest cities in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So the slaves used to meet in like a little swamp area called Raccoon Chase, and then it was so far from the city,
Okay.
they used to worship in the vicinity of the town.
Okay.
So it was in 1776 though, a white man would drive riding his horse and he heard them.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, well, why are y'all out here in the woods? He thought this is carriage house. So that's
Okay.
when they started meeting in town.
Wow.
And that was the first church, which is here, which y'all see when we go out to Williamsburg.
Okay.
And they stayed there for a while till it blew down with the hurricane. And so then they built like a brick church in 1855,
Okay.
which is, that's what all this furniture is from. This is from the
Original.
brick church. So that's the pulpit set. And that's how it looked on the inside of the
Wow.
church before it got tore down.
Wow.
1776.
Wow.
I didn't know about it until maybe about 100 years ago. They started realizing that, oh, this is not the oldest black church, it's the oldest Baptist church.
Church
in the United
here.
States. So this sanctuary, like it was 56 when they moved from the brick church in Columbia, Williamsburg.
Mm-hmm.
And so when we go over to walk over or drive over to the other site, we'll see like the original site where they,
Okay.
unfortunately, they tore down that church
Right.
and they put a parking lot over it. So that's where they found the graves and stuff.
Wow. So we'll see that on the other side. Wow. Okay. Nice. And then you have some more historical artifacts in the back.
Yeah, so they've had a lot of people that's been here.
So Martin Luther King was here.
Yeah, he was friends of the pastor, the one that's over here, Reverend Collins. He was the pastor here, and he was a part of the Southern Leadership Christian Conference.
Okay.
So he invited Dr. King to come and speak at the church.
Okay.
And so there's some still members who remember when they were children when he came to school.
Wow.
And then Jesse Jackson came back in the
Okay.
80s, but they had the strike down at Colonial Williamsburg. And
Okay.
so he had came to talk to the union.
Okay.
And then the first black governor of Virginia, Governor Wilder, came back in 91.
Okay.
And he talked to one of the first black judges in Williamsburg.
Wow. Okay.
And then we actually, for June 19th,
Okay.
Mrs. Opal Lee, she actually came here too and took a tour back after she had walked in DC to ask for them to make it.
Nice. 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 All right.
Oh, and then President Obama, so they took the building in DC for the National Black History Museum.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think because President Obama is about the Black History Museum, they didn't build on President Obama.
You could
so this is just the, so back when they were, so this is like I said, the original church that was over in Williamsburg. So when they were doing the excavation to try to dig for a new building, they found these tombstones. And so Deacon Dunlop, he was one of the first deacons here in the 1800s. And so his wife Lucy, they found her tombstone that he had paid for a blacksmith, so he had like paid for a nice tombstone for her.
Wow.
And then her father was, but he also did the tombstone. So they found those tombstones.
Wow.
The church and the school. And another thing that is like the Missy back in the 40s and 30s. So that was the original church.
Okay.
It was about 600 members.
Okay. And how many members you guys have now?
About 250.
Okay. Did you guys find people kind of like lagging off after COVID?
They did. But we switched to online and we kind of came back. We had like 3 baptisms.
Nice.
So they found those tombstones.
Okay.
That was from a former member that was his wife and his father-in-law. And they had found those down in Williamsburg when they were digging. So they gave those back to the church. But those
wow.
The reason I asked because I saw it say daughters and granddaughters.
Oh yeah, so they were the only Baptist church in the area. So they have daughter churches. So those are churches that broke off. Some members left this church after the Civil War, and they started other churches. So Queen Street down in Hampton, and then you have like all the churches in Williamsburg.
Oh.
And it wasn't like that negative. You got to people like they had like 1,000 members.
So they needed to.
A small church.
Yeah.
So then they started planting churches.
Yeah. In the 60s.
So this that they all that stuff. So this is the harness work and stuff. They had to place on the was originally in the church back over on when it was upstairs before they had the
Okay.
And that's the actual all that stuff.
And this is the one, the Obama side.
That was on the church when it first opened up church, right?
So when they had the church over in Williamsburg, the old brick church, and that's the Williams Auxiliary, they paid for that bill. So that's like in the 1880s.
Probably when I noticed the church was 1776. I said, that's when America got this.
Yeah. It's that old.
They were free?
No, so half of them were free and half were slaves. So Williamsburg is a weird city. So like it's custom. So before they had slave laws, like you worked 7 years and became free. So there's a lot of people who had gotten on freedom and they didn't work. And then you had some people who were still enslaved. Because even here at the church, there's people, descendants who great-grandparents named some of the buildings because there were a lot of free blacks. And so they that whole thing.
Wow.
So you saw the church that came out of the Baptist.
Okay.
And then that when they had the that was just celebrating the death of Jackson. Thomas Jefferson's descendants, black, white.
Really?
This is the last. This is the point when we put here. So they say like a lot of minutes and stuff, right?
Okay.
That most of the right, even though they
were educated.
And they have pictures of after the Civil War.
Okay.
And the community center and everything back.
Wow. And I see their bulletins.